I gave P a lot of advice, you know what I mean, about how to go about it, you know what I mean, what he has to do to really, like, you know what I mean, blend in and, you know what I mean, stay under the radar so he can just get his time over with and get out, you know what I mean?
When he goes now, I'm gonna visit just like when he's been working every day this week till 7:30 in the morning. I've been there. You know, this is real life.
We got a month, dog. We got a month. Next week we went in there and we requested if I could get an extra month. You know what I mean? Due to my medical condition and all that. And we also requested that I go to Cassidy. You know what I'm saying? It's a medical jail. So he accepted the request. They're gonna put me in Cassidy, and they gave me the month extension.
He's been dealing with sickle cell for years, and I've seen terrible crises to where he's had pain. Just like he had pain in his chest or his head. It can strike anywhere, so I've seen him go through it. Like, people hear about it, but just being there, you can't do nothing about it. Only thing is pain medication. So yeah, that was a big concern that I wanted him to, you know, make sure that he was in a facility that they would tend to his needs and his disease, which is sickle cell anemia.
We came out for a second round.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Oh, it's great right now.
10 minutes.
2 months later, on March 10th, 2008, Prodigy was remanded not to a medical facility, but a maximum security prison in Fishkill, New York, where he began a 3.5-year sentence. Some say the first day can be the hardest day. That's when reality sets in and life, now a matter of survival, will never be the same.
First day, how you go into that motherfucker is the day you better live the rest of your life, bruh. Straight up. Every time you come to that motherfucker, that first day how you came in, that's how they gonna remember you.
I mean, you first go in, man, you know, you get a whole change of environment, you know what I'm saying? You finna walking into a whole nother world.
I just prepared for the worst, prayed for the best. I had already been sentenced, so I already understood what I was gonna have to do.
The first day, you probably do a lot of sleeping. You know what I mean? Because you probably stayed awake. I mean, if you knew you was going, you probably stayed awake most of the night.
First thing, they're gonna wake you up in the county about 3:30 in the morning, get you to the bus. It depends what penitentiary you're going to. You might be going from LA County to High Desert. You might have to stop at every penitentiary till you get to High Desert. It might take you 20 hours to get to that motherfucker.
Whenever you get to where you're going, they gonna strip you down, they gonna take your shit off, they make you spin around, spread your ass, lift your balls, they look all between your ass everywhere, you know what I mean?
When you first get there, they process you in, and you find out quick who's with the business and who ain't, because they put you right in a holding cell, and it could crack off anytime, anywhere.
It's always somebody for somebody in that motherfucker. You was a badass in your neighborhood. Well, when you get in here, it's gonna be 1,000 badasses from 1,000 neighborhoods trying to, you know, prove that they the baddest.
They'll tell you, like, you know, I'm a felon and y'all new ones, and is this your first rodeo? Yeah, first and last, hopefully. I don't want to keep riding this bullshit.
You know, when you a new motherfucker, you gonna get it from every one of them, period. They don't know you, fuck you.
You don't come to jail and all of a sudden, just because you walk through the door, that means you's a tough motherfucker. It ain't that kind of party.
Older brother of Juicy J of the rap group 3 6 Mafia, Patrick Houston, a.k.a. Project Pat, is often featured on 3 6 Mafia tracks, including the hit song, Sippin' on Some Scissor. In 2001, Pat's third album, Mr. Don't Play, landed in Billboard's top 5, becoming platinum. But Pat's past was about to catch up with him.
They stopped me in routine traffic, you know, it wasn't even nothing. Really, the police stopped me because he saw the gold teeth in my mouth. And he seen me riding a 2000 Escalade. The guy pulled me over, you know, he put me in the back seat, searching the car. He was searching for drugs, because he kept, you know, talking about drugs, this, drug, that. And he stumbled across the weapons.
Project Pat was charged with illegal possession of a firearm, which carries a maximum sentence of 10 years.
When I got locked up and they were taking me back and forth to court, you know, I had a mistrial in Memphis. So they moved it outside of Memphis, like an hour away. So they got a lot of people out of rural areas for the jury. And I mean, you know, it was done deal then. The judge said this. He said, because of the contents of the songs, he said, I have knowledge of drug trafficking. And I was like, huh? I mean, I rap about a lot of stuff. I mean, I rap about heroin. I'm not on heroin. I don't have an affinity for heroin. But I mean, that's what's in the street, so I'm rapping about what's in the street. But, I mean, entertainment is entertainment. People are always trying to say that rap music is the influential of what's going on now. It's influencing the kids, making the kids bad, it's making them... But I mean, I can listen to it, I ain't gonna do nothing. You know, I listened to it growing up, that didn't influence me like that. I had robbed, you know, some people before, and I can't sit up here and blame it on NWA. If my music is gonna influence somebody to go do something wrong, that makes me the mastermind. So that means I gotta go to jail too. I'm supposed to get more time than anybody.
On March 13, 2001, Project Pat was sentenced to 4 years behind bars.
I gave my lawyer like $45,000, like right off the bat. I mean, it was over with, man. I probably gave the dude like $100,000. And I still had to go do my time. So you can't buy the feds. If you got $20,000 in the state, in Tennessee, if you don't get off, you're gonna get probation. But the feds? No. Feds ain't like people think like a camp. Like when you go to the camps and you be straight, that's for politicians and people white collar crime. Anything that's got to do with violent crimes, you going to prison. They asked me where I want to go. I said, I don't care where you send me. So, but they ended up picking FCI Memphis. But when they picked it, the warden said, I don't want him here. So then he shipped me to Beaumont, Texas. Beaumont, Texas, every gang in the United States of America is down there. Every Mexican gang that you can name, every black gang that you can name, and every white gang that you can name is in Beaumont, Texas. We stayed on lockdown. We stayed into it. I'm talking about constantly. I saw so many stabbings, I don't know how many I saw. I'm talking about like every day, 15, 16 dudes stabbing one person with butcher knives and everything. I saw this like over 100 times. Yeah, you got some real killers in there, man. You got some real dudes. I'm talking about like old dudes who they don't like crime in the streets and stuff. Man, they get it right on to be free. They don't condone in that. Selling drugs? No. I was locked up with a lot of white guys too. There was some stone killers running some major drug spots down in Texas and all that, man. Man, you can't tell me nothing about none of that. Guy told me when I was locked up, he said, Pat, you gonna come out here and rap, because these had a little rap contest in Beaumont. I told dude, I said, I'm off right now. I'm doing time. When you're in jail, and people who done time know this, you're gonna end up like bonding with somebody, like click-clacking, and it's gonna be somebody that you're gonna probably be somewhere totally different. It's not gonna be somebody like where you're from, and y'all gonna be cool as I don't know what. Like when I was down there, I had a lot of guys out of Chicago. Instantly, we just clicked. So it's just, you know, I remember the solid guys. I'm talking about good dudes.
Project Pat was released on July 27, 2005.
When I walked out, my kids was there, my brother was there. That's who picked me up, my brother.
Less than a year later, Project Pat traveled with his brother to Los Angeles to help celebrate 3 6 Mafia's Academy Award nomination for Best Song, It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp, from the film Hustle and Flow.
I had just got out. It's like before it happened, I said, they gonna win. And then when they won, I was like, I can't believe it. It messed me up. I mean, it blew my mind.
Since his release from incarceration, Project Pat has released 2 albums and starred in an MTV reality series, Adventures in Hollywood, with his brother, Juicy J, and the other 3 6 Mafia members. As for his time behind bars, Project Pat makes his intentions clear with his track, I Ain't Going Back to Jail.
That's his first song on the Crook by the Book album, and just to let folks know, man, I ain't going back to jail, that's over with. I just ain't gonna be able to do it. I don't have another beat in me.
In 1995, Tupac Shakur's Me Against the World became the first #1 album by an incarcerated artist. Years later, Koch Records put out The Truest Shit I Ever Said by New Orleans rapper C Murder, then incarcerated on a murder charge. Mystical, nominated for a Grammy for his 2000 album Tarantula, received 6 years in 2004 for sexual battery. Lil' Kim released an album while incarcerated and starred in a reality television show, Countdown to Lockdown, before going in. Former P. Diddy protege Shine signed a $3 million deal with Def Jam while serving time for a 1999 club shooting. His 2004 album, Godfather Buried Alive, landed him in magazines, on MTV, and in hot water with the New York State Crime Victims Board, who questioned whether his promotional activities violated Son of Sam laws. Artists make the most of their time outside by recording as much music and filming as many videos before going in, so they continue to generate an income stream while incarcerated.
Tonight, we're trying to cram in as much stuff as possible before Prodigy goes in, and we've been shooting for 3 days straight. People got families to feed, people got obligations to meet, and this is your job. And when you're away for that long, you got to do what you got to do.
Before his incarceration, Prodigy had shot a number of music videos to support his new album, HNIC2, which was released by Voxonic Records 1 month after he began his prison sentence.
I'm super fly, got a bad habit for hammies. I'm in love with nines. The violence don't stop, the beef don't cease, the money keep coming, the paper increases, the fire don't end, the people stay dying, so I'ma keep living the life. You damn right.
We consider the fact that so many MCs have released albums after they've been imprisoned, Cassidy, Lil' Kim, and just a slew of other folks, that clearly record companies did not see this as dangerous to the marketing of their artists, that it, if anything, added to some credibility to the artist's street cred, that this person represented something, that they were true to what they said, that they weren't studio gangsters, that they in fact lived this, and as a consequence of living this life, they're serving time in prison.
Artists who are incarcerated have to sit on the sidelines while their records and videos are released. Unable to attend record release parties or be involved in the promotional activities it takes to launch a record, they become part of a new trend in hip-hop, one that generates more discussion and deliberation than old-fashioned promotion: jailhouse rap. Philadelphia's Dwight Grant, a.k.a. Beanie Sigel, may be one of hip-hop's most talented MCs, with albums such as The Truth and The Reason. An entrepreneur, Sigel launched a clothing line called State Property. But in 2003, while his career was in full swing, he was arrested for weapons and drug possession. Soon afterwards, he was arrested for allegedly shooting a man in the stomach. That case was thrown out of court, but Sigel pled guilty to the earlier weapons charges.